Okay, so this might be a controversial video, but I'm going to do it anyway. I don't really care. Um, I've mentioned this in trade proposals, and I get comments all the time about people thinking that I'm nuts. But it is time for the Yankees to consider moving Aaron Judge. Period. Okay? And I'm going to make a few things clear. Okay? Right now from the start. Not only you're entitled to your opinion, yes, as am I, as is everybody else here. Let's keep it cool. All right? Now, I am not talking about 25-year-old super healthy Aaron Judge. I'm talking about 30-year-old and soon to be very expensive Aaron Judge. There is a gigantic difference between the two. Okay? That's point one. Point two, the Yankees have multiple holes that they need to fill. Okay? Aaron Judge is the only player on this team that is representative of somebody who they can move at a ridiculously high price. Okay? That can help them fill some of those holes immediately. It's the same thing as, we would have to pay a ransom for Ketel Marte. We'd have to pay a ransom for Bryant Reynolds, right? We have to pay a ransom for Max Scherzer. Somebody's going to have to pay a ransom for Aaron Judge. He's a superstar. Okay? He's one of those elite players. But the fact is he has had trouble staying healthy over his career. Now, some of the injuries are freak and some of them are not, and I'm happy that he's healthy this year. But that's the whole point. Okay, selling when his value is at his all-time high, and it is at an all-time high right now. And again, he's not a free agent until the end of next year, but there's no guarantee he's going to be healthy until the end of next year. And then what are the Yankees going to do? They're going to give him $175, $200 million after he's 30, and then be unable to fill other holes? Is that a smart move? People are hammering Cashman all the time about the Ellsbury trade, right? $153 million, he couldn't stay healthy. Are you going to say the same thing about Aaron Judge when you give him $200 million and he can't stay healthy? So let's keep that in mind here. It's a very important point. Okay, there's a lot of other things too. Again, there are other tradable players on this team, and the Yankees can buy and sell at the same time. If they move Judge, and I know it's as unpopular as me suggesting, in the late 80s, early 90s, they trade Mattingly, right? Yeah, that would be, hung from the rooftops or whatever. So I get it. He's a popular player. He's one of the most popular in baseball as the face of the Yankees franchise. I get all that stuff. But this is a business, and the team does not revolve around one player only. Okay? 26 guys on the team. Okay? Take him out of the lineup. All his injuries, the Yankees still won 100 games a couple of times with him not in the lineup for a chunk of time, as well as Stanton. So keep these things in mind. Okay? The fact is, the Yankees need pitching. They need lots of it. They need left-handed bats. They need a couple of those. Okay? They need consistency, athleticism, small ball, across the board. They are lacking a lot of things. They're a fundamentally flawed team. All right? And constructed, a flawed construction of the team as well. Where's the small ball? Where's the bunting? Where's the hit and run? Where's the moving runners over? And we don't see that as much as we do other teams. And I understand the Bronx Bomber, the aura around it, and hitting big home runs and stuff like that. But where has it gotten us? They haven't won the World Series since 2009, and they've become more Bronx Bomberish since then. Okay, more right-handed, less versatile since then. Other teams have become more athletic and versatile, and they're winning World Series. The Yankees are not. Okay, I hate saying this as a Yankee fan, but it is true. Okay, these are facts that, whether you like it or not, they're still true. Whether I like it or not, they're still true. Our feelings don't change the facts. Period. Okay, so that's why I think the Yankees should consider moving Judge. Now, they should consider moving Sanchez too right now when his value's high. Not as high. Nobody's value in the Yankees is as high as Judge. Nobody. Okay? But, again, can you imagine what they can get back? They could fill 2 or 3 holes right away and still have some prospect capital as well. They can probably get 1 or 2 major leaguers and 2 top prospects. They could flip 1 or 2 of those guys to another team as well to address another hole. Right? They get a haul for Judge, flip a few of them to get Ketel Marte. They flip a few of them to get Jose Berrios too. They could probably get Marte and Berrios just by moving Judge and adding some of the guys they have. They have a different team, a different ball game. Okay, they still have power. They still have a ton of it. And I understand, like I said, that it's an unpopular move, but from a business standpoint, it's one of the smarter moves that they could make. I understand sell out merch and blah, blah, blah. Okay, but how many rings does he have? How many rings? None. Okay? We talk about winning World Series all the time. They talk about winning World Series all the time. They're not doing it. Okay? They're getting beat by more athletic teams, faster teams, teams that get on base, relentless lineups. We don't have these things. But we do have a superstar in Aaron Judge. And again, I would miss him. I have a Judge jersey too. I would hate to see him leave. But that said, you know, it's about the team, the franchise itself, the whole collective group, not catering to one superstar. Okay? And it's not an insult to Aaron Judge. He's been a great Yankee, been a model teammate, model player. But again, this is where he can make his biggest impact. And you know, and again, I guess it's hard to replace his production temporarily in the season and postseason. I get it, but do the Diamondbacks want to trade Marte? Probably not. Do the Pirates want to trade Brian Reynolds? Probably not. Nats want to trade Max Scherzer? Doubtful. So the Yankees, you know, and especially fans don't want them to trade Judge any more than those other teams' fans want them to trade their superstars. But that's the whole point of these moves. They help them recoup teams. That's why the Cubs are probably going to move on from Chris Bryant, a couple of these other guys, and just restock their farm. Big time. Okay? Accelerate the rebuild. And this wouldn't be a rebuild for the Yankees. Okay? It wouldn't. It would be just a retooling of some sort. Because, again, they're in a position to buy and sell. Okay? I wouldn't move Torres right now. He's only 24 years old, and he has a ton of intangibles, and he's also, his value's at an all-time low, so it would be foolish to recoup him, or to move him when he's under control until 2025. Okay? If he restores his value and plays really well for the rest of the year, maybe a different story, but I wouldn't move Torres right now. It'd be a stupid move. Judge, on the other hand, is a different story. Okay, it would be unpopular, but it wouldn't be stupid. Okay? And that's the fact. 24-year-old Torres, 30-year-old Judge. And again, I'm not talking about 25-year-old Judge. I'm talking about 30-year-old Judge. And, you know, those complaints about the Yankees handing out big contracts to older players, well, we'd be doing the same thing for him. Same exact thing. No difference. And if he gets hurt for half that contract, you're going to be on here saying, man, you're going to acknowledge that you know, that it was a foolish move? I doubt it. So, let's be real about this. Seriously, let's be real about it. Would I be upset if they kept him? No. He's a great player. But would I be upset if they moved him? Nope, not even a little. I miss him. I'll cheer for him wherever he goes. But, again, the Yankees have several holes to fill. And they are not close to beating, Boston, Tampa, Chicago White Sox, Oakland A's, Houston. They're not close to beating them. Not in the playoffs. San Diego, Giants, Dodgers. No. Even if they start playing more like the Yankees, they're $2 million under the threshold for $210 million. What move is Cashman going to make that's going to revitalize the whole entire team without offsetting big contracts? And what big contracts can he offset? I know people say Hicks. Hicks is hurt for the whole year. Nobody's going to take him. Nobody. Okay? Again, Torres, you don't move a kid when his value's at his all-time low. You move somebody when their value's at their all-time high. That's smart business. He's also 6 years younger than Aaron Judge. You take youth. Okay? Voit is movable. Maybe. And they also have Chris Gittens at first in the minors. He's 3 years younger than Voit. I've mentioned this too. He's got the same amount of power. Give him a chance, he'll be hitting balls over buildings too. So Voit I can see is a movable player. But this is about Aaron Judge. Okay? He's the elephant in the room. And the elephant that nobody wants to talk about. You know? And again, I love Judge. But I love the Yankees more. And Judge doesn't win the World Series. The Yankees win the World Series. Okay? And would it be great if he was there while they won it? Sure. But at the same time, the Yankees need to do what they need to do to get better. And if if there's one player that can help them, with one step back, take 2 or 3 or 4 steps forward, you do that. Because he is going to become expensive. And he's already making, I think, almost $10 million now. So you can offset his salary, get them under the cap. I mean, get even further under, which will allow you to move over and get somebody like a Jose Barrios or a Luis Castillo, somebody like that. Not saying it would happen, not saying this, but they could be in a position to go for them. People think I'm nuts about going for Castillo and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's not nuts. They offered Castillo to the Yankees in the offseason for Torres. Cashman said no. So it's going to cost more now to get Torres because he's pitching like the old, Castillo, because he's pitching like the old Castillo. So the fact is, it's going to cost more. Barrios is going to cost a lot. German Marquez is going to cost a lot. But just think of the possibilities the Yankees would have simply by moving Judge. Okay? Keep in mind, too, you can move him now, and if he's a free agent at the end of next year, you can re-sign him. They did this. They did it to Chapman. They could do that, too, if they want to. If he's there. But it's a risk they take. But it's a risk that they have to take in order to make the team better. But I wouldn't be that hesitant right now or stubborn and saying, we got to stick this out, we got to ride this out. I mean, I wouldn't do it. I don't think it's a smart move. Doing nothing, and if they have an opportunity to really, really reshape the look of this team, and for the short term and the long term, you got to do it. Because when you start, you sign Judge, it's going to negate their ability to sign other players in the offseason. Okay, the next year, because it's going to be so expensive, filling up these roster spots with expensive players. I would personally, as much as I hate saying, I would rather have a 28-year-old Ketel Marte than a 33-year-old Aaron Judge. And Marte is under control till 2025 at a very affordable price. His whole entire contract added up is going to be probably a year or two of Aaron Judge's. Just keeping that math in perspective. Okay, he's versatile, he's athletic, he's switcher. He does a lot of things that the Yankees don't do. And he has a better batting average than Aaron Judge. I love seeing Aaron Judge home runs and Aaron Judge hits, and he's a fun player to watch. But again, why keep him and have the team potentially not win over move him and really, really address holes that people complain about all the time, right? And then if they don't address these holes because Aaron Judge has now become too expensive because they gave him $200 million, are you going to go down this road again and again and again and again and again? This is why you get controllable players, younger players. You move on from these guys when they get to their early 30s. You don't keep all of them. Okay, and this is a different situation than Gerrit Cole. Gerrit Cole was the best free agent starter, one of the best free agent starters in baseball history. They had to get him. There was no choice. They had to, and he's the unquestioned ace of the team. Okay? As much as I like Judge's intangibles and talent and leadership and whatnot, they have won and they can win without him. Okay? There's a lot of other offense on this team, and there will be more offense if they move Judge at multiple positions. That's my logic behind it. Okay? People can agree, disagree, particularly disagree. Give me your perspectives. Just be cool about it. All right. Let's have a respectful dialogue. Okay. I appreciate everybody's feedback, but again, like I said, if you're gonna be a dick, you're gonna get blocked or deleted immediately. So don't even waste your time. Don't waste your time. Okay. So, but this is to me, it's an important subject that needs to be discussed. At the very least, discussed. And I know Brian Cashman isn't sitting here watching my videos. And I'm not the only Yankee content creator who thinks moving Judge might be a good business move. There are other folks out there. I'm most vocal about it. Okay, I'm one of the more vocal about it, folks, and I'm going to continue being that way as long as they keep doing nothing, because it's getting more obvious and more obvious and more obvious and more obvious by the week. And at some point, they need to strike while the iron's hot, or it's going to pass. And then they're not going to be able to take advantage of it like so many other times where they could trade somebody and they refuse to do it because of whatever reason. And then all of a sudden, we're complaining a year or two now. Look at this older player now. He's a has-been and the Yankees could have moved him. Why are we going to make this mistake again? Why? Because he's a superstar? That's not a good enough reason. Yankees have other superstars. Okay? They have to do what's best for the team. Period.